New Thought Media Network is pleased to present Treasures from the TAO, live on Tuesdays at noon Mountain Time with Reverend Jody Hill-Stevenson. Join us as Reverend Jody shares wisdoms, inspirations, and treasures from the TAO every Tuesday here on the New Thought Media Network. And here is Reverend Jody.
Greetings, friends. Welcome to Treasures from the TAO. The theme today, well, the theme is love for the month, but the title for today is love. It is simply irrelevant. There you go. So I could stop right now, but I won't because I want to explain what I mean by that. In the early 70s, Professor Leo Buscaglia went to the powers at hand at the Department of Special Education at the University of Southern California. And he applied to teach a class on love. Well, that was weird. And the pushback was astounding. It had to be taught on his own time. He would not get paid for it. And it would not be an accredited class. And eyebrows were raised, so many eyebrows were raised from his colleagues who didn't think that love was a scholarly subject or serious enough for a highly developed university curriculum. One professor at lunch in the faculty room turned to Professor Leo and said, "Love, come on, it is simply irrelevant. What a dumb thing to teach." Wow. Don't you kind of wish you'd been married to him? Maybe not. So very soon, however, the naysayers were proven wrong because there were over 100 kids that showed up. And they were all different ages, freshmen to seniors. They were some sophisticated, some not sophisticated, and they had all different levels of education. And the goal in the 3-year class, 3 years with Leo Buscaglia, I would have loved that. The goal, the exploration into love, was never to define love, ever, but to have an exploration into really, what is it? Well, there was a unanimous belief, and the unanimous belief is that love is infinite. Kierkegaard, a 19th century Danish philosopher, theologian, poet, and social critic. And what he's most famous for is he is considered to be the first existentialist philosopher. I love that. He wrote, "To cheat oneself out of love is the most terrible deception. It is an eternal loss for which there is no reparation, either in time or eternity." I mean, we're talking about love. So here I am, once again, 35 years into my ministry, talking about something which I have done so often, that is the most important aspect in our lives, and it can't be defined. And ironically, we have never needed it more than in today's world. In one of his last books, Dr. Petram Sorokins wrote in The Ways and Power of Love, "The sensate mind emphatically disbelieves in the power of love. It appears to us something illusionary. We call it self-deception, the opiate of the minds of the people's mind, unscientific bosh, and unscientific delusion." Wow. So for those of you who know me, you know that I have spent a lifetime since age 28 to right now at age 71, passionately learning about love for myself. So many therapists, so many teachers, so many classes, a ministerial degree, meditation, journaling, affirmations, mirror talk, changing my beliefs from I am fat, frumpy, dumpy, stupid, and ugly to the now belief that I have is I am curvy, classy, courageous, wise, and beautiful. It's been a long journey. And for 43 years, daily, I have worked to experience love for myself. Quitting a 3-pack a day smoking, I'm not exaggerating, of Marlboros on April 11th, 1979. Finding my Skid Row father, who looked like a wild animal the day I found him. He was a very handsome man, sleeping in the doorway in the streets of Seattle. And making the decision that day to not end up like him, but to transform my internal shame of self-love and respect so that I could love myself. These are my 3 greatest accomplishments at this point, probably for the rest of my life. So I was thinking, when I cross over and watch the movie of my life, because I think we do, not in a judgmental way, but more in so how did I do this past life? How did I do this incarnation? I will absolutely do the Charleston dance because I love the Charleston. For those of you who know me, you would go, of course she does. And it's about the only dance I know. But I will do a dance because I can honestly and joyously tell you that I have experienced love, self-love in my life. Here's what I know to be true. When you love yourself, loving people care about themselves. This is not an ego trip. And so many people would say that, especially from the traditional Christian belief that if you love yourself, you're being conceited or you're being egotistical. That is simply not true. It's the first and foremost universal truth. You fill up with love and you fill up with the unlimited energy of love. You have so much to give to others. The nudging of self-love is the most fantastic potential that you and I have. It's the greatest potential that you and I have. Loving self, the second aspect that I have come to believe, is uniqueness. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Does self-love take courage? I had no idea when I started out. For greater love of self, you have to be willing to celebrate your uniqueness. You're very different than anybody else. And the cool thing, as you really start to honor this, you just don't want to be in judgment of other people or other things. Now, I would love to tell you I have a halo on my head. I don't, but it is a practice that I have taken on. And yes, sometimes I can get triggered by national politicians, but in everyday life, I don't want to judge anybody else because I'm not judging myself. I honor my uniqueness. I know my shadow side. I know I make mistakes. I know I say things I shouldn't. And that's okay because I love who I am. Different. Dr. Leo Biscaglia taught something within you, something within the you of you that is different from every single human being. That will determine how you will project out into the world. how you will see the world, how you will become a special human being. And that's what love is. You can go to the mirror and go, gosh, I'm unique, I'm special. God's never made another one just like me, nor will God ever. So one of my greatest joys in the world is my 66-year-old friendship with my best friend, Carolyn. We met when we were 6. We used to climb trees together. She pretty much always beat me at marbles or jacks. And well, we played with our stuffed animals and we created plays and we did all kinds of things that little girls do. And every step of the way, we have been there for each other. She is my family member that has shown up for all of my successes in celebration. And she is the one that she calls me. It's like, we've been through divorces together. We've been through boyfriends. We've been through all kinds of things, family situations. We've traveled together. We have cried, sobbed in restaurants, laughed hysterically till 4 a.m, talking about our grade school. I call this love. Carolyn, is amazing at designing homes and redoing spaces. She's amazing. I call her and go, so should I put the pot here or over here in my patio? I am not good at that. That is not something I do. But I so honor her ability to do that. I have my talents and my skills, and they're so different from Carolyn's. I'm so glad. But at the core of our being is pure love. We honor each other's differences and we celebrate each other's uniqueness. So, who is that person for you? Who knows you so well that they know the nickname of your grandparents? Or who in your life today you know you could call at any time and say, listen, I need you to sit in the front row of my big celebration here, or I'm having a hard time. Can we talk? In his book, I think you've heard me say this before, in his book, Who Dies? Steve Levine says, if you know you only have one day to live, what would you do? Who would you call? And what would you say? And I'll just add, for God's sakes, what are you waiting for? In other words, if you knew that you only had one day to live, what would you change about your everyday life today to add more love? What would that be for you? I was thinking about this morning. It's really cold here in Colorado. It's really cold. I'm not as cold as some other places I know, but it's cold. So at 6:30 this morning, I'm in my warm bed and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to the gym. And the other voice said, I don't care. If you love yourself, you'll get up and go to the gym. So I did. I just want a gold star for that. How would you honor your uniqueness if you knew you only had one day to live? How would you honor your uniqueness? Where would you give your time, your talents, your ties to uplift the consciousness of humanity? Who would be on that list that you would call? Carolyn would be one of the top 3 people I would call. Who is that for you? And number 3, the third aspect of love is dedication. In the world of metaphysics, there is an ancient belief that what you focus on expands in your life. In Buddhism, there's a belief that what you water grows. It's the same thing. Are you doing what you love? And are you loving what you do? So at my ripe old age, I couldn't be busier and I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing. As the founder of Wedding Day Joys that we just launched, and as a senior minister at the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley, my life is overflowing with purpose. I love all the things and all the smart and dedicated people that I hang out with. It is such a thrill to co-create with these amazing people in my life. The creative outlets that I have welcomed, and yes, the challenges. So in my early 30s, I went to a psychic, maybe late 20s, I went to a psychic, and this person said to me, oh, you're one of those that you're going to work till the day you die. And I looked at him and I thought, I need a new psychic. I don't want to work till the day I die. Well, now I get it. I do want to work till the day. I want to be so used up with self-love and purpose. And that's what it's all about. I wouldn't give up my life for naught right now. So to summarize today's treasures, number one, love is the very thing that is living through you. Honor it, believe it, treasure it. And so for all those professors who, with their smartness and highbrow education, I just have to say, love is not irrelevant. In fact, it is the very thing that has, is, and will breathe itself through you. Pure love, divine love. It is very relevant and very real. So I know I've shared this with you before, and I'll probably share it many, many times because it is my favorite quote about love. There's so many great philosophers out there speaking about love. I think Dr. Ernest Holmes had the best understanding on what love is. He writes, love is the sole impulse for creation, and the man or the person who does not have it as the greatest incentive in his or her life has never developed the real creative instinct. No one can swing out into the universe without love, and the whole universe is based upon it. Have a great, loving week, and go to that mirror and tell that one that you love him or her. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me.